Hello, everyone. My name is Casual, and a lot of you don't know me, but I'm here to tell you what I think Hearthstone actually needs. Now, a little bit of background information about myself. I've been playing Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And lots of other card games since I've been 14. I'm 19 now. I started when I was 14 playing casually at F&Ms, went on to when I was 15 to actually start playing competitively, went to my first regionals at 15 for Magic, and I went on to my first nationals at 16. Actually won my first regionals at 16. By winning, I mean top 4. I take that as a win for myself. I've been to Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals, I've been Yu-Gi-Oh! Regionals, finishing in top 50, top 18, top 16. I've finished very, very heavily in a lot of competitive card games, and have been doing this for about 5 years now. And I like to take that as a personal win for myself. I've only been playing Hearthstone for the past 3 months and have achieved rank 1, rank 2 and everything, back with Patron and everything. I went for the Legend push, and currently there's been lots of debate about what Hearthstone needs to be competitive, and what Hearthstone needs to be a better card game all in all. And there's been lots of things out there like, say, consistency, and yes, this game needs card consistency, and any game needs card consistency if it wants to be competitive and better for new people. There have been suggestions about certain mechanics that need to be added, like, say, the Magic the Gathering Trample or Yu-Gi-Oh! Piercing, or the wall mechanic where something can be taunted but not attack, like, say, a 1-drop on turn 1, that's a 1/4, that can't attack but it's a taunt. There's been lots of things that have been introduced, and there's lots of things that have been going around the subreddit, but this is my personal opinion on what the game needs to be a successful and competitive game, taken from a 19-year-old who has been playing competitive games for the past 5 years, and you can take it however you want. So this is my idea. My idea is that Hearthstone needs some mechanic to interact with the other player on the other turn. Now, there's been countless things about like being able to use mana efficiently and use mana effectively, about what will win and what won't win. Right now, the biggest argument is that Secret Paladin is the most dominant deck before Patron Warrior is, or was. Now, the thing with Secret Paladin, the reason why it's so OP and great and interactive is the fact that Secret Paladin plays the best cost-effective spell, minion, whatever, on that turn. If they hit their curve perfectly, obviously. I mean, that means they have to draw into Lothar, they have to draw into Mysterious Challenger, to Dr. Boom, to Tyrion. They have to draw that, obviously. But when they do, they just win. It's like what you're thinking, like, oh, a lot of decks, when they draw into something, they can just win. It's just, by turn 6, 7, and 8, you've already gone through 10, 11, 12 draws, possibly, if they have a Divine Favor, even more. So it's not hard to hit something that you run 2 copies of, say like as a Mysterious Challenger or a Piloted Shredder. I know Dr. Boom and Tyrion are one-ofs, but it's not hard to hit that point. And if you hit MC on turn 6, you're cutting out 5 secrets. That's 5 possible draws, making your chances of hitting Dr. Boom on turn 7 very, very likely. So they play the best minions on curve, which is what makes them great. And that's what Hearthstone has come down to. We can all hopefully unanimously agree that Hearthstone is about hitting minions on curve, not even spells, minions. Minions on curve that basically create a board state. You win Hearthstone by having the best board possible, post-Patron nerf. And a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, there needs to be some kind of interaction to, like, stop this, or maybe taunts that stop things, or whatever. There's been many suggestions out there, but I'm just here to tell you mine about the whole player interaction. I believe that there should be some way for every class and for neutral cards. There should be neutral cards to stop interactions. The only interactions that we currently have with another player on their turn are secrets. Without those, you can honestly play a game without ever being there on the opponent's turn. You may want to see, like, oh, how many cards they drew, or like X, Y, whatever. You can always see that in the post history. But for the most part, like, theoretically, you can literally play the game, play your turn, get up, leave, come back your turn, play that out, get up, leave, and it becomes more so when you have just straightforward decks like Secret Paladin. Just play your minions on curve and you win. The reason why this is allowed is because Hearthstone has no player interaction on the other player's turn. You spend your mana most efficiently to build up your board, get rid of their board, and that's it. Or obviously push for lethal. But that's it. That's all you do. There's no way to use your mana or have your mana resources gated towards stopping what they do. Besides maybe mages with Vaporize and Counterspell. Only two spells I can think of currently that actually stop something. And granted, yes, you may want to keep Counterspell simply to mages. It gives them something unique. But like, say you made a secret that was literally stop the next battle cry, or that was like a neutral, or just maybe a gated area of effect that can control what they actually do on their turn. That's stop battle cries, because there's in the game right now there's actually no efficient way to stop battle cries. Yes, there's ways to make battle cries more cost effective, but there's no way to actually stop it from happening. So let's say some matchups commonly right now that would be helpful or just turn how the game would just immensely change from this change that I'm proposing. Justicar Trueheart and Control Warrior, this is the win card. Hands down, this is what made Control Warrior one of the most dominant decks right now that I would arguably agree. Second to probably Secret Paladin, and then I guess maybe Aggro Druids can do fairly well in the matchup. But a Control Warrior, they became what they are right now because of Justicar Trueheart. Imagine if you had the ability to stop a battle cry, or stop death rattles, even with, like, besides the silence, but you can't silence battle cries. Say if you had a counter secret or a spell, like some kind of spell that you could activate on your or the enemy's turn, playing a minion, the battle cry, before it goes off, stop that battle cry. Maybe the minion still gets summoned, maybe the minion gets vaporized. That's something Blizzard can design and decide. But just be able to stop Justicar Trueheart's battle cry, because they can only win one copy of it, changes the game immensely. But you have to choose what you're stopping, what battle cry you're stopping. Do you want to stop that, or do you want to stop, say, a variant if variant ever actually becomes a thing? Or do you want to stop a Dr. Boom? Or what do you want to stop? You have to choose, because obviously you're not going to be able to run more than 2 copies of this spell. And in my proposal, would actually make these spells like a legendary spells, so you could only stop 1 card. But stopping that 1 card can literally change games. Stopping a Mysterious Challenger on the turn that it would want to be played changes the game immensely. They wasted that. All the secrets are still in their deck that's thinned out. They might not be able to hit that Dr. Boom or the Tyrion when they want to. You've changed the game immensely. You've gained a huge swing, all without trying to see whose dick's bigger by putting the better minion on the ground. Now, with this being said and this being proposed, there has to be some kind of way to stop that interaction from taking too long. Now, what I mean is that Hearthstone is time constricted because it is an online game. Hearthstone is always going to have that air around it that there's going to be time to a game. I honestly think that's why games should actually have like a time limit, but then again they added fatigue, so games will end. There's no way for a game to like not end. Games will end. But if I want to add, or if I were to add a player interaction on another player's turn, it has to be something like you have, if that card is in play, or if you have something in your hand, whereas you have to be interactive, you have to be watching, you have to be there to do what they want to do for a competitive standpoint. Maybe a lot of people will not agree with this because they're like, oh, well, I like going to the bathroom, or I like watching Netflix while playing Hearthstone. I mean, yeah, sure, you do that. You watch Netflix while you play Hearthstone. You can sit at rank 10 or rank even 5 or whatever and watch Netflix while playing Hearthstone. But if this is supposed to be a competitive game, they need to allow some kind of other player interactions that you have to react to as they play it. I know there's like some kind of latency issue with lag and whatever, but the lag is honestly not that detrimental on Hearthstone. Unless you're playing mobile, which is really bad, and you should not be playing competitively at a mobile level. But say they are playing Mysterious Challenger. Before it hits, I have like a 1 second, 2 second, 5 second window maybe to play whatever spell I need to play, or trap, or whatever you want to call it, whatever game terminology you're taking this from, and stop whatever the hell they're about to do. Because if I'm going to take the time and put in my 30 card deck slot 1 copy of a spell that could potentially be a Dr. Boom per se, or whatever, or say it's in the case of I'm trying to stop someone's Mysterious Challenger, and my own personal 6-drop, I'm trying to think of like other 6-drops that are really, really great. Can't really think of any right off the top of my head. Maybe Shield Maiden's a Control Warrior. If I'm taking the fact to take out a Shield Maiden to make a card that doesn't even produce a minion, but stops your minions from Battlecry from going off, that it's potentially game-changing for me, that's pretty great. Like, that says a lot about how much worth I value you not getting that Drussicar Trueheart Battlecry or that Mysterious Challenger Battlecry. And, oh gosh, sorry, whoa. It allows just for so much counterplay and mechanics and a higher level of competitive play to interact on the other player's turn. A game should not be dictated by me playing against my opponent's cards, but me playing against my opponent and what they're gonna do. You can't say that like outplays or predictions are like whatever to a certain degree if you can't even stop what someone wants to do. And the best thing that we have to this right now is Lothab. Is stopping them from playing spells next turn to a degree by making them cost like 5 more. And I know what you're thinking is like, oh, why not just like an added legendary that's like, oh, Battlecry minions cost 6 more next turn, or blah blah blah, or whatever. I mean, yeah, it can stop their potential play, and yes, if Hearthstone or Blizzard doesn't want to take this suggestion of adding more interactions on the other player terms, that could be a way to look at it. But as of right now, this game has no real competitive outlook to it because we can't interact on the other player's turn. We can't stop what they're going to do. If a Secret Paladin's going to play Mysterious Challenger, we have to accept it. We have to live with it. They're going to do that. And we have to try to stop it. We have to try to gather up resources to stop whatever they're doing. But what makes that hard is that resources that aren't in the form of minions lose you the board state. And like I said, we could unanimously agree earlier, board state is what wins you the game now. And there's been many talks about like adding back combo decks or taking away combo decks. And I'm just going to give my little 2 cents on that, is that I personally do agree that if this meta was like filled with potential combo decks or potential synergy decks, not necessarily combo, but synergy, we get punished so hard if we want to try to play a beast deck because all the beasts are pretty crappy compared to a lot of things in their vanilla state. It's just that even Mysterious Challenger doesn't pull out a secret per se. He's still a nice solid 6/6, but if we're about to play like Ram Wrangler, 5-drop 3/3, that's not a beast, that's horrible. It's a horrible, horrible play. And then he himself is not a beast. We need to have more synergy class cards. I think that's one thing that Hearthstone does need. But yeah, that's it. That's all from me, Casual. Expect to actually see a lot more content coming from me. I'm trying to get more into the content creation, especially more geared towards Hearthstone. I'm in the current of making a Hearthstone rap. And it's pretty funny. It's more or less a parody rap, so hope you guys will enjoy that. I look to have that out next week. And yeah, that's all from me, Casual. If you like this video or you like who I am, stop by my Twitch, follow me on Twitter at Casual Tortoro. I'll link my Twitch somewhere in the description of this. Subscribe to me on YouTube. If you like what I have to say, if you want to hear more of what I have to say, you want to hear any more of my opinions, just ask. And I would just like to exit this with a quote that my friend Thomas said when I first started playing Hearthstone. I just started playing card games in general. He's been the guy I always went to because he got me into card games. He told me that in every other game, being at 0 health is not the reason you lose, but more or less a side effect of how the game was played and what you did to stop what they did, how you played and how you interact with them. In Hearthstone, you being at 0 health is all about how the opponent played. And I just want that to be some food for thought for you guys to think about. Casual out. You guys have a wonderful day. Upvote this if you like it, or downvote it because I'm going to be posting this on Reddit. Like, comment, and subscribe.